The trophy didn't fit in the suitcase because it was too big. What was too big? The trophy. Now, the trophy didn't fit in the suitcase because it was too small. What was too small? The suitcase. One word flipped. The referent of it flipped with it. Your brain uses world knowledge to decide, and for 40 years, no computer did. Video 8 of Lecture 7, Anaphora and Coreference. The task of figuring out what all the its, hes, she's, and thems refer to, also known as pronoun resolution, also known as the Winograd Schema problem, and also known as the reason your favorite chatbot occasionally gets the wrong person in a story. In Video 7, we labeled semantic roles. Who did what to whom, sentence by sentence. But real text is not one sentence at a time. It's a chain of sentences that keep referring back to earlier things. Mary bought a car. She loves it. She is Mary. It is the car. Without that link, the second sentence is meaningless. Coreference is the machinery that keeps the links. Today's puzzle. Pronoun resolution sounds like something a linguist should solve with grammar rules. Match gender, match number, pick the nearest antecedent. That's how everyone tried to solve it for the first 30 years. Then Winograd wrote sentences where grammar rules give the wrong answer. Levesque made a benchmark out of it, and Coreference stayed hard until BERT. Today's 3 beats. First, Anaphora versus Coreference. 2 words that get confused constantly. Getting the vocab right. Second, the Winograd schemas. Levesque 2012. The benchmark that was supposed to replace the Turing test. Third, how modern neural coreference works, and why it now cracks Winograd schemas that stumped every system before. Beat 1. Vocabulary. Anaphora is when a word refers back to something already introduced. Mary bought a car. She loves it. She is anaphoric to Mary. It is anaphoric to the car. Coreference is the broader idea. Any 2 mentions that point to the same entity. The president met with Vice President Harris. Kamala said she was optimistic. Kamala and Vice President Harris, and she all corefer. The classical algorithms. Hobbs 1978. Walk the parse tree upward and leftward from the pronoun. First noun phrase that matches gender and number. That's your antecedent. Works surprisingly well for simple cases. Roughly 70% right on newswire, but fails cold on world knowledge cases like the trophy sentence. Beat 2. The Winograd schemas. Terry Winograd wrote the trophy sentence in 1972, buried in his SHRDLU paper. Hector Levesque, Ernie Davis, and Leora Morgenstern picked it up in 2012, made it a benchmark. 270 carefully constructed sentence pairs where one adjective flip changes the correct answer. Their proposal: pass this benchmark and you've genuinely solved AI. The community took it seriously. Why are Winograd schemas hard? Because they're engineered so grammar and statistics both fail. Gender and number matches don't help. Both candidates match. Nearest antecedent doesn't help. Either one could be the right choice. The only way to answer is to reason. A trophy is a physical object. A suitcase is a container. If the container doesn't fit the object is bigger. If it doesn't fit, the container might be smaller. That is world knowledge. Beat 3. Enter neural coreference. Lee and colleagues at Washington, 2017, their end-to-end model. No parse tree, no explicit features, just BERT-style contextual embeddings, a scoring function over every pair of spans, and pick the closest previous mention above threshold. The model doesn't reason explicitly. It just has enough exposure to language in pretraining that world knowledge-shaped patterns fall out. 50% on Winograd, then 70, then 80 by 2020. Why did BERT crack Winograd? Because pre-training on hundreds of billions of tokens exposed the model to millions of trophy and suitcase situations. Not the exact sentence, but the underlying schema of containers, objects, sizes, fits. When the model sees didn't fit because it was too big, the context vectors for trophy and suitcase end up carrying enough size and container structure that the linear layer picks trophy. No explicit reasoning, just a lot of exposure. The hard cases that still leak through. Long-range coref, mention chains that span pages. Split antecedents. Mary met Sue and they had lunch. They refers to both. Bridging anaphora. I entered a house. The door was open. The door bridges to the house but isn't literally coreferent with it. And gendered pronouns in stories with multiple same-gender characters. This is the frontier of coref research in 2026. Coreference matters for downstream tasks. Question answering. The answer to when did Kamala say she was optimistic depends on knowing she is Kamala. Summarization. A summary that says she left without ever binding she is nonsense. Machine translation into languages that require gender agreement. Spanish ella versus L. You have to know who each pronoun points to. Coreference is invisible until it breaks. Practical picks. Production. Spacey has a neural coref extension, or Allen NLP's Coreference model, based on Lee et al. If you have GPU budget, fine-tune longformer or a similar long document transformer on OntoNotes. If you're using an LLM downstream, the LLM already handles coref internally when generating. Test it explicitly on your domain before shipping. 3 takeaways before the quiz. 1. Anaphora is a backward-pointing word. Coreference is the broader task of grouping any 2 mentions that point to the same entity. Same idea, 2 words. 2. The Winograd Schema Challenge from Levesque 2012 was the benchmark designed to require world knowledge. Grammar and statistics can't crack it. For a decade, nothing did. 3. Neural Coreference, Lee et al. 2017, and BERT-based successors, cracked Winograd not by reasoning, but by absorbing world knowledge implicitly from massive pretraining. Quiz 1. In the trophy didn't fit in the suitcase because it was too big, what does it refer to? The suitcase. B. The trophy, because it doesn't fit, it must be the bigger object. C. The floor. Or D. The person carrying them. B. The trophy. If the object doesn't fit in the container, the object is too big. Flip the adjective too small, and it refers to the suitcase instead. This is the Levesque Winograd schema, engineered so grammar rules fail and only world knowledge helps. Quiz 2. What is the difference between anaphora and coreference? Anaphora and coreference are the same word in different languages. B. Anaphora is when a word points back to an earlier mention, usually a pronoun. Coreference is the broader idea of any 2 mentions that refer to the same entity. C. Anaphora is for nouns. Coreference is for verbs. Or D. There is no difference. B. Anaphora is a subset of coreference. Every pronoun antecedent link is anaphoric, but coreference includes non-pronominal cases, like Vice President Harris's and Kamala, referring to the same person. Quiz 3. How did BERT-based neural models crack Winograd schemas that grammar-based systems couldn't? A. They memorized the 270 schemas. B. Pre-training on hundreds of billions of tokens gave them implicit exposure to size container fit patterns, world knowledge as a statistical side effect. C. They query a Winograd database at inference. Or D. They can't. Winograd is still unsolved. B. This is the sideways solved pattern again. The model didn't learn to reason about containers explicitly. It saw millions of container fits object situations during pre-training, and the vectors for trophy and suitcases end up carrying enough of that structure that the linear head picks correctly. Back to the puzzle. Coreference is invisible until it breaks. World knowledge, delivered by pre-training, made Winograd schemas tractable, but one class of language still humiliates every semantic composition-based model. Idioms, compounds, phrasal verbs. When kick the bucket has nothing to do with kicking. Video 9. Next time, multi-word expressions. Idioms, compounds, phrasal verbs. Kick the bucket, give up, break the ice. The bits of language where the meaning of the whole has nothing to do with the meaning of the parts. Hit subscribe.